Hey guys, it's COREROSS and Y10S3 News. So Season 3 of Year 10 is getting very close. It'll be showing off in just 3 weeks time on August 17th. Now the headline feature for this season is going to be this new operator from Switzerland. So we're getting a Swiss op, and we have had a first look at this operator as we were able to see some concept art in a little teaser shown off in the previous season reveal, and he looks really freaking cool. He's got a very tactical look to him. And he's also going to have a brand new weapon as part of his kit. All new operators now, as of the last couple of years, will always have a brand new weapon. And from the teasers we got last season, this weapon will have big destruction, and I think it's going to be in the secondary slot. And we also know that he's going to be on defense. Now, the major features for this season are, first of all, a dual front update. So this will be giving us a new update to the neutral sector assignment in the 6v6 game mode. Each season also features 2 operator rotations. We've seen that this season with operators getting rotated in and out. Now, this is under the major features tab, and obviously the neutral sector assignment right now is to save Dokkaebi, so that'll be switched to something else, probably lower based. However, I wouldn't really think of this as a major feature, just changing the objective in the middle of the map for the middle of the game, but that is what they're doing with dual front. Then we've got Modernize Maps. As you know, they upgraded some maps last season with the launch of CGX, so they're going to continue that with Nighthaven, Lair, and Consulate. Now, it should be noted at this rate, it'll take them about 2 years to modernize all the maps in Rainbow Six Siege, so no new map and no reworked map for this season. Then we've got Siege Cup squad stats. So squad stats will allow you to inspect your opponent's team stats before matches. Now again, this is in the major features tab here, and I don't consider this to be a particularly big feature, but it's a nice to have. It's kind of a quality of life update to me. Then we have limited time events. So we've got an in-game event number 1 and an in-game event number 2. We know that one of these is Doctor's Curse, which will be returning for Halloween, and it's going to be on a new map, finally. So we have somewhere new to play hide and seek on. And this does make me extraordinarily happy, because I think the golden age for me with Rainbow Six Siege was when they were having 2 events per season, and I'm just so happy to have 2 events per season again. But I will say that I'm very curious to find out what the second event will actually be, because I would love it to be something that hasn't returned before, like say Grand Larceny or something like that, rather than maybe something that's already returned in the previous time. So we'll find out in the future. They're also bringing in Siege Cup every single weekend, which I think is great. And this will just give people more to do at the weekends and have a lot of fun in. So yeah, this is a perfect upgrade and very good for Siege Cup. Then we move on to updates to the anti-cheat and anti-toxicity. So of course, Shield Guard, which is all the cheating elements in the game, they're going to be looking to upgrade these. This is just what happens, of course, in an actual live service game. So it's just something you would expect to see. We've also got voice chat moderation. This, I'm going to predict right now, is going to go terrible. We've seen the introduction of the text chat moderation by AI, and it wasn't very good. I can only imagine how it will be with voice, which is bound to be at least 1,000 times harder, with different accents, different languages, different accents talking in different languages. How do you moderate that successfully? So I think this is going to be an absolute cluster when it initially comes out, and I'm just going to be very curious to see how it works. It also is interesting, of course, how they're going to actually implement it. Will it like mute people automatically? Will it change their voice? Will it, remove words? What's it going to actually do? And I don't see it working out particularly great. Then we've got my most anticipated feature for this season, which is the privacy setting improvements. And actually this is simply that it's coming to console. So I think it probably will change a little bit on PC as well, but the fact it's coming to console is so good. Originally it was supposed to come to console years ago, and at the last minute it was cancelled. I assume, we don't know this for sure, but I assume it was Microsoft or Sony who said, no, we don't want you changing people's names and stuff like that. So I am very much looking forward to this, and I'm going to be so happy to bring it to console. Now, of course, I don't live stream Rainbow Six Siege, right? So why would I need something like this? But for instance, I sometimes get clips that are just hilarious. So I had one that was Warden, and he was watching sight. He was the last guy alive, and there was like 2 attackers. And for a moment, we thought Warden was going to clutch the game, because the attackers put down smoke and started to defuse. And I was like, oh my God, he's going to switch his goggles on, he's going to see through, and he's going to take out the bad guys, and it's going to be amazing. He then proceeded to not activate his gadget, walked into the smoke, and got meleeed by one of the attackers. And I was like, oh. And it was one of the funniest clips ever recorded, but I don't want to post it because it has the guy's name in it. I don't want him getting made fun of, right? Whereas the privacy settings means I can change everyone to a anonymous name. I can have them be like Alpha, Delta, and all that. And it just means making, funny clips like that is a lot more, a lot less embarrassing for people. And it's a very simple thing for me, but it's something I want, and that's my, the feature I'm looking forward to the most. Hopefully it does not get delayed. Then we've also got abandoned penalty improvement. So this, I'm curious to see what will be getting fixed here. The biggest issue for me is if you get disconnected from a game, a lot of people just cannot reconnect. And it just doesn't work. And that's the main issue to the abandoned penalty, is the part that you seem to have, be very much a dice roll if you can get back into the game. So I'll certainly be curious to see what they do to improve this. For the most part, they've had to switch it off usually when things are just not working right. And I'm curious to see how they, if they actually manage to fix it. We'll see. There's also going to be updates to the reputation system. This will add in new positives and new negatives. I think the reputation system's going okay. For me, I'm very worried about new players. Like an accidental team kill in your early days of Siege can really mess up your reputation for quite some time. And I think it might be a touch harsh on new players, but for me, so far, it's been all right. And considering, other iterations of the reputation system have been broken, the current one is kind of working. So we'll see what this ends up being for the positives and negatives with this update. Then we've got operator balancing. Honestly, one of the favorite parts of the season. We didn't get this with CGX's launch, which I was really disappointed about. So I'm curious to see what they'll do for the operator balancing when it comes to the new season. So looking forward to that. And right now I can't even guess what they might actually do for that. Then we have our player comfort. So they're going to do updates to the esports tab that they introduced into the game with CGX. So of course you can go check like live streams and stuff there. Now, conclusion wise, it's a pretty lackluster season. Great to get a brand new operator. Awesome. Probably one of the best features of the season. But the major features here, I think these are all like, this is a quality of life change. This is just something that's going to come with the whole CGX thing, and it's going to have to be continuing for 2 years to upgrade all the maps. And this is definitely not a main feature. If it is, as they say, just changing the neutral sector assignment and switching out a couple of operators, it's not, I think, a major feature either. So to me, this major features is really lacking. However, a positive is the limited time events. I'm so happy to have 2 per season. That was the golden age for Siege for me. So bringing that back has just made me extremely happy. Then we've got upgrades to Shield Guard and Toxicity. This is just, of course, live service stuff that constantly gets upgraded. And most of it is relatively normal. Balancing, good to see that return with this season. And then player comfort, just some of your usual stuff. But other than that, it's not a major season for sure. Now, there will probably be delays. Like if we look at last year, every single season, features were delayed into the final one. Thankfully, season 4, everything got out in time and a lot of stuff was pushed into it and ended up being quite a big season. But I'm curious to see if the lead up to this season's reveal, the roadmap will come in with a few updates and push a few features out. I'm really hoping my console privacy settings don't get pushed to another season. So we'll see how it all goes for the next season of Rainbow Six Siege. And then when it comes to dates for everything, you're probably going to see teasers for the season start very soon. The full reveal is going to be on the 17th of August. That means that with 2 weeks of test server, you'll most likely see the new season launch in September 2nd. Anyway guys, thanks for watching and I'll catch you next time.